Hi, my name is Basil Roberts, and my research paper was how does being a music major here at App State affect how students listen and enjoy music? So, ever since deciding I would choose to study music in college, I've observed that students who study music and its many nuances each have a unique way of listening to music. Most students you would ask around campus will most likely have similar answers amongst each other, with a common consensus of why they enjoy music being because it's catchy or sounds good. After realizing how the area of study within music affects the listening experience of students, I wanted to learn more about how music is enjoyed by students and what impact a certain major may have on the listener. To conduct this research paper, I walked the halls of App State's Broy Hill Music Building and asked different students 3 questions. These questions were: what is your major? Why do you enjoy music? And how has studying music affected how you listen to music? I asked random students on their way to class to get a non-biased answer or skewed results, with most students agreeing that music study has changed their view of music. A few of the majors included music education, music therapy, music theory and composition, music industry studies, music performance, music production and recording, and music engineering. As I had previously hypothesized and expected, the views of students' opinions towards their favorite type of music is reflected directly to their major. For example, most music composition majors focus on the chord progressions and musical complexity of the pieces they listen to, and recording majors focus on the quality of recording and music. A student studying music production is more likely to choose their favorite songs based on the quality production alone and the processes used to engineer the music, disregarding the elements of the piece that give value to other students studying different majors. A large portion of the music students I interviewed turned out to be MIS or Music Industry Studies majors, and this group had the most varied and interesting views of music. The MIS program at App State focuses on studying the technological and business/financial aspects of music during the production and distribution period of music creation. These students appreciate the pop culture of music and are more interested in the image of an artist or working for an artist without making music themselves, besides creating a framework or baseline for the artist to work off of. By focusing on this aspect of music, they choose to listen to whatever artists are most successful and popular currently and admire their success rather than any musical quality of their career. Not to say all MIS majors disregard the importance of quality of music, with a small group focusing on upcoming and unpopular artists working to enter the music industry, enduring their underdog aspects as a struggling artist. MIS major Flavio Reyes said, "I enjoy seeing more aspects of music than the performing side, and I enjoy learning what equipment musicians use." The MIS majors I interviewed who enjoyed less successful musicians personally worked on their own music and were working to increase their following and had an admiration for these smaller artists. The second largest group of students I interviewed were music production/recording majors. These students primarily focused on the recording quality of music and share an appreciation for music of earlier generations. My friend Sean Glasgow, a recording major here at App State, said he enjoyed artist Steely Dan for his recording quality on the song Aja, and bands like Pink Floyd for their creative and experimental recording practices. Recording majors enjoy music that falls on the more experimental side of recording, and after watching multiple recording sessions, I've noticed that they focus more on creating something new rather than recreating techniques commonly used. Another recording major expressed that he enjoyed learning more about what types of microphones and equipment studio recording professionals preferred for different albums to achieve new and unique sounds. I found the recording major's outlook on music to be the most unique and nuanced, as a lot of dedication is required to be as proficient as they study to become. Composition majors like myself listen out for complexities within the musical expression, note choices, and thematic tonality of music. From my experience, I believe music should be enjoyed on an emotional level, so when I listen to music, I take in all choices made by the artist to engage in how they intended to make me react. I discovered most composition majors feel indifferent and focus more on the chord progressions and musical complexity, appreciating the amount of work put into the decision-making process for each note. From my conversations with these students, I discovered composition to be the most musically involved major, with the students studying theory and composition having the most detailed understanding of music and the music-making process. Composition majors work on creating music with restraints to replicate a potential classical composition job with commissions. So we appreciate when an artist makes a creative decision in music given their instrument or financial restraints. Unfortunately, I was only able to encounter one music performance major at the time of writing this research paper, but they were able to provide valuable insight as to how other performance majors value music. Music performance majors value music from a playing aspect rather than enjoyment from listening. These students in the performance program practice more classical music and appreciate small nuances within music that the average listener would not pick up on because they typically envision themselves playing and performing the piece themselves. A majority of performance majors at App State are jazz-focused musicians and like listening to jazz charts from the 50s to 90s and notice small details between iterations of the same song. Music therapy majors enjoy music on a psychological level similar to composition and theory majors. However, they dive deeper into the emotional response people have to music and musical themes. Although it sounds cliche, music therapy majors enjoy slower, more calming music and artists such as Leve or genres like jazz. Student Kalen Haupt relayed to me that he viewed music as a valuable tool to help humans express their emotions and feel like they are connected to people in similar experiences expressed within music. The music therapy study is very complex in the research of human reaction to broad themes such as difference between a song and a major chord progression that sounds happy and a minor chord progression, often conveying more sad and depressing themes. Music therapy dives into the world of how humans react to certain frequencies and how changing the register of frequencies within a song can affect the listening experience. Most music therapy majors, like performance majors, enjoy playing instruments or singing for their own enjoyment, with most music therapy majors being vocalists. A way music can be enjoyed is for its engineering aspects and complexities revolving sound and acoustic engineering. The music engineering students study the construction of music through technology, and music engineers are responsible for panning in music. Panning is the technique where audio of a song is placed in different spots of the speakers in your headphones or car to create a more interesting listening environment. Because of this being a major aspect of their study, music engineering students appreciate music through its complexity in building a listening environment through the use of technology to create reverb, echo, and other interesting effects to add to the recording process of music. These students typically listen to live music or acoustic covers. They express an appreciation for live music engineering techniques, such as devices to create the recording quality of a live room and make a band sound great live without the ability to tweak frequencies and qualities after a recording has been made. The last of the music majors I interviewed was music education majors, who all varied extremely in their appreciation for music. Most music education majors value music for its learning opportunities and how through music education they can shape the life of a student and wish to have an impact through teaching. However, not every music education major felt as strongly about music for its educational purpose, with some following similar appreciations as previously mentioned with other majors, with some even saying they don't enjoy listening to music, as they perform and make it so often they've lost appreciation for recorded music as you'd hear on the radio on apps like Spotify. A student that portrayed breaking away from trends in music education listening habits was Carly Garcia, who said, "I enjoy music because I can't imagine my life without it, and listening to music allows me to express my emotions." Overall, from my research, I've learned that studying music does in fact have an influence on how music students appreciate music, and by studying music, their interpretation of what is valuable in music has changed. Although it wasn't the original goal, I also discovered that despite studying music and appreciating its creative processes, not everyone values the same views on what makes music meaningful or unique. I think the influence that education has on musicians greatly affects the outcome of their music and the music industry as a whole, while shaping their own perspective on what is valuable in music. Thanks.